Hey, welcome back. All right, in this video, we are going to talk about establishing and building your rapport. What is rapport? It's a close and harmonious relationship in which the people or groups concerned understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. Rapport is power. Okay, the relationship of rapport is it's just basically total responsiveness between people. It's a connection. It's when you're in sync with a person, okay? And it's easier to obtain between people who are either like themselves or people who are like somebody who they'd like to become. Get that? We're gonna talk about how you can build rapport during your interview, and I'm going to give you also some ways to improve your ability to create this connection with the person. Why is rapport important in your interview process? It is because studies have actually shown that people are judged within the first 5 minutes of any interview. Yeah, you are immediately judged within the first 5 minutes of speaking. The interviewer already has I wouldn't say a judgment, but already has a feeling about you, already gets a sense of who you are. Remember, it's rapport is created by a feeling or a sense of commonality, and there are different ways where you can actually create rapport, and it's not through just through questions. The questions don't actually create the rapport. I mean, remember, the interviewer is actually asking you the questions, not the other way around. So how do you create rapport? By giving your answers. Now, it's important for you to study and really observe the people around you. People actually become like each other when rapport is established. Let's take, for example, your friends or even your closest friends. At first, there were maybe opposites that attracted you together, but then slowly you become like each other. How do we do this within the first 5 minutes of an interview, and how do we build this throughout the entire interview? There are a couple of different ways to do this, and the first one that I kind of want to talk to is the easiest, is through communication. All right, it's common belief, it's urban myth actually, that 7% of our communication is just words. The rest is body language, blah blah blah. Forget about the ratio. Forget about the statistics. I've read and I've studied all the different types of analyses that they say, but it's okay. Yeah, they're I mean, great information. I'm not trying to say that they're not applicable here. They are. I'm just saying that's not the important thing to focus on. What you want to focus on is, as far as vocal communication goes. Okay, there are many things you can do just in your speech that can help you build rapport. One is tone of voice. 2 is like tempo, the speed. 3, the volume. 4, terminology, the words that you use. Are they similar to the types of words that the interviewer uses? If you get a person from like the California region, in California you get somebody who's like, yeah, dude, how was your day, dude? You get a lot of dudes, right? And it kind of matches the people who are from California. That's also true in other areas of the world. You have a certain terminology for that specific region, for that specific circle of friends or community. It's important for you to understand when you're doing your research what kind of terminology do the students at that school you're applying to use, because you can use that. You can use their lingo, so to speak, to show commonality, right? We're always trying to show commonality. You can do this also, and then we can get into as far as other ways to help you build this connection is through gestures or posture, facial expressions, eye contact, and even just breathing. That's pretty cool too. First, let's talk about matching and mirroring. Okay, this is your ability to really study and observe people. Remember what I said, people like those who are like themselves, or they like those who they would like to become. So in this scenario, you want to go with the first one. People like people who are like themselves. Your tone of voice, when you're matching and mirroring, basically what you're doing is you're It's sort of an entrainment. It's a sort of like a priming exercise. If you're talking to somebody, and if their tone of voice is very passive, very calm, soothing, but you're very aggressive, and you're like, this is how I talk, and let's do this, and yeah, this is the school that I want. It doesn't show commonality. All right, it's ridiculous. I'm showing you a contrast here, but you want to try to match the tone of voice with their counterpart, and this is something simple you can do. Do it at home with your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Just talk to them, but talk to them in their tone of voice. First, they're gonna find it weird because you're going to be forcing it. As you get better, it'll come more naturally, and they won't even perceive it, but they'll just like you because you're talking in the same tone of voice. It's interesting to watch. And this is true even with an exercise that you can do with your significant other or with your friend. There is an exercise. There was an experiment that people would do. It's the following. Back in psychology, when you're having dinner with somebody, if you're eating dinner, right, and you both order your drinks or whatever, and you guys are just talking, chit-chatting, eating, for about 10-15 minutes, the first 10-15 minutes, what you should try to do is the following. Every time that person picks up their drink they raise their cup to drink, take a sip of their beverage, do so immediately also. When they do it in front of you and you're watching and they see you, then you do it together. Okay, do that for about 10-15 minutes. Afterwards, what you can do is when you raise your cup, before they raise their cup, you raise your cup to drink. You're going to notice that they raise their cup too. It's interesting. It's an interesting experiment. You can try it out. It's not 100% of the time it does work. There are different factors that affect it, but a lot of times it does work. And basically what I'm doing is I just want to show you that it is possible to mirror somebody and for them to to like you. And this is something you can do like on a first date too. The second thing that you can try to do, you need to pay attention and observe is match and mirror the tempo and speed of your voice. If a person is a very slow speaker and they tend to really emphasize the words and have a very calm, soothing way of asking you the questions, then it is great for you to mirror that as well, rather than really kind of speeding up and trying to put in as much information as possible, because it shows a contrast. That person is not like me, so do I want to become like that person? Well, not really, because he's applying for an MBA. I already did an MBA. See, match the tempo and speed, match the volume too. If you get a very soft-spoken person, someone who speaks like very low, but you're there yelling in this person's face, it's not going to build a sense of commonality between you. Again, that would become yet another barrier for building a connection. Now, the same goes for like gestures. Latin American countries, use a lot of gestures. We talk with our hands, right? Italians talk with their hands. Some French people that I know talk with their hands. And this is great and all, but if you're talking to someone who's not used to that, it could seem like you're attacking their personal space or just kind of all over the place. Asians, for example. A lot of the Asians that I know from Asia, like I have students from China, South Korea, Japan, you won't see any hand gestures. Very, very little, very few. Just totally like static movement and just yes. If any gesture, it's going to be a nod of the head to the front. That's it. And it's interesting to see this when I do interview coaching, because I tell them, look, it's not about you, it's about the interviewer. You need to match how they react, how they handle themselves, how they hold themselves, how they present themselves, because you want to be like that person. Why? Because we tend to like the people who are like us. Same goes with posture. All right, these are important things that you want to also manage during your interview. Like I said, you can't be. You're having your interview. You can't be like this the whole time, right? You can't be like, yeah. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. No, just come on, common sense. But also, you don't want to be stagnant. Just be like, yeah. Keep it interesting. You want to make sure you're using your gestures and watching these things, paying attention to this. You might think, oh, well, I can't change the way I move my hands or talk with my hands. Yes, you can. You can actually practice that, which I talk about in the how to practice video. Posture as well. Are you slouching? Okay. Are you twitching your legs? Are you constantly fidgeting? Are you touching your face? This is something a lot of people do. Either they touch their face a lot, or they mess with their hair, or tap their feet. They shake their feet. Okay, I'm shaking my foot right now. You probably can't see it, or I don't know if the camera is moving, but it's irritating for many people especially for the people who don't do it. Okay, it distracts you from this interaction, me and you, right? So watch your posture, watch your body language. Your body language also, you don't want to make it look like you're a powerful guy. Right, you're a natural born leader and a killer instinct. That's not the point. You want to be able to show that you're humble, you're a serious guy, you're reliable. So how do we do that? You make sure that your posture is open. Don't cross your arms. If you cross your arms, this shows. Some people like to talk like this. I remember I had an interviewee who always had her arms crossed, and she would be doing this, by answering her questions. And it's terrible body language in the sense that, if you want to build a connection, there needs to be an open channel. And this is not an open channel. This means F off, don't talk to me. This means, no, I have a boyfriend, thank you very much. No need to try to pick me up at the bar. Okay? So pay attention to these things, and you can actually watch the interviewer as he or she moves and shifts. That's something that you call mirroring, which is cool. When the interviewer shifts his or her body weight to one side, mirror that. But I don't mean like, okay, he shifted slightly to, let's say, my left, right? And if you're looking, it would be your right. So the interviewer shifts over this way. That doesn't mean I want you to shift all the way over here. I don't know if I'm even in the frame, but all the way over here, okay? Make the slightest shift. Shifts over to the other way, slightest shift. If he or she crosses his or her legs, wait a little bit, but then you can just cross. It's in training and mirroring all over again. You're mimicking everything that they're doing. Everything, right? That also helps create a connection because you're always maintaining your bodies in parallel and your communication is in the same line of sight, direct line of sight. That's extremely important. Eye contact. Don't look directly into the person's eye the entire time. No one likes to have somebody staring at you for 45 minutes straight. That's just weird. It's creepy, strange, and uncomfortable. Awkward, yeah. But you also don't want to conduct the entire interview like this either, or avoiding the eyes. Imagine if you were watching, 8 hours of this interview course and I was doing this the entire. I do that a little bit. I do. I'm sorry, but imagine doing this the entire time, or imagine if I was doing this the entire time. Not cool. So there has to be a balance. But every time that they do, when they are speaking, especially when they are speaking, you need to be making eye contact. That's a given. If they are speaking, you need to be making eye contact. All right, sometimes I get students, teacher, or coach, I have trouble making eye contact. I can't maintain eye contact. All right, here's something that I do. Sometimes I don't want to make eye contact, but I don't want to make it look like I'm not making eye contact. I don't know why I do it, but I get it. I understand. Some people, we all have our little, our strangeness. What I do is this. Sometimes when I'm looking at somebody, I'm not looking into their eyes. Where I'm aiming at, what I'm looking at is right here. I fix a point right here. Actually, it's like more like down here, right on the bridge, above the bridge of the nose. I don't know what's this called, the little valley, right? I have a big nose here, but this part right here, I look at that. Because when you're looking at that and they're looking back at you, it looks like you're looking at them in the eyes. But you're actually not looking them in the eyes. So that's a great way that you can use. That's something that you can use to maintain eye contact without feeling uncomfortable. But again, break eye contact once in a while, because you don't want to be staring into that person's eyes the entire time. Breathing. Okay, breathing is also something that you can mimic. You're like, why would I mimic someone breathing? Okay, think about this. And who was it? It was Coach Tony Robbins who had once said this and said this beautifully, and it was amazing. One of his lectures, one of his programs, and I was attending one of his programs, and he was talking about breathing, how we can establish rapport, make a connection through breathing. And he said, think about a time when you were breathing in sync with somebody, and that was the most powerful connection you have ever felt with that person. What he means by is sex, intercourse, okay? That's the time when both people, the two are breathing almost in sync, and it creates a sense of closeness and intimacy. That's awesome, all right? I'm not talking about you're having sex with the interviewer, please. We're mature adults, yeah? We don't, sex shouldn't be a taboo content. But what I mean is that breathing in sync with somebody also creates a very powerful, like the pace and the tempo, it creates a powerful connection, powerful sense of closeness. How do you do that? You have to observe the person's breathing by the rising and descending of the chest. It's not like when they go, if you miss a breath or two, that's not the point. You're not going to go, all right, that's not. Don't exaggerate it, but you want to maintain a good rhythm. Why is rhythm important? Have you ever danced with somebody? If you are dancing the salsa while the other person is waltzing, it's not going to look good, right? Same concept. When you want to breathe in sync with the person, you just want to make sure that you're both kind of having the same rhythm. Have the same rhythm. Dance it, have the same steps. It's a dance. This is an interaction where it's a dance. You might even be one of those very avid dancers who love, ballroom dancing, things like that. And something that I know from a former friend of mine. She said that you can tell a lot about a person by dancing with them. You can tell a lot about a person by dancing with them. And in a way, I guess it's true. The rhythm of the beat, right? If the two people have chemistry, if you guys kind of communicate well with each other without saying a word, on the dance floor, just go moving with the beat together. That usually tells women a lot about the guy. How you dance, what you look like, the way you carry yourself, your confidence or the lack of, all of that shows who you are. And I'm only saying this to prove my point. When you're in rhythm with the person, then you're in sync with the person. When you're in sync with the person, you create connection. And the whole purpose here is to create a connection.
Yesterday, just a dream I don't remember.
All about as we're talking about connection and stuff, a lot of people have this difficulty in really getting comfortable with a complete stranger, because in the end, when you do have an interview with somebody, it's going to be with a total stranger. If you know the interviewer, you need to let the school know. You cannot have an interview with somebody you know. So whether it's the adcom, whether it's an alumnus, whether it's a second year student, the chances are very likely that it's a complete stranger. How should I create a connection with a complete stranger? I'd like to give you a challenge. I'd like to tell you, this is a great challenge to really help you get over that, not only just the fear of meeting new people, but also for you to practice your rapport. Practice creating a connection, a bond. synchronizing with somebody. Here's my challenge for you. You can choose for yourself whether or not you want to do this. You can either not do this and just go on with your happy life, or you can do this challenge and really start developing a different type of attitude, different type of confidence. Why will it help you, and why do I give this challenge? Is because you will also be meeting complete strangers throughout your MBA experience. Not only fellow students or fellow peers in class, but also other students who attend the college or the school that you're going to, but as well as CEOs and executives of companies that you're going to you're going to watch a lecture for. You want to go talk to him or her, or you're going to just set up a coffee meet, or you see someone in line at the grocery store. This challenge is going to really help you break through that barrier. And what it is the following. I want you to do this. It's called Meet a Stranger a Day. It's the Meet a Stranger a Day challenge. Some of you are like, you're just skipping to the next video already. Stop. Just hear me out. Meet a stranger a day. It's very simple. You can be the most introverted person in the world. This challenge is actually going to help you be a little bit more comfortable with these types of strange encounters. A stranger, you can be at a grocery store, at the bank, at a restaurant, at a bar, at a bus stop, at the gym. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But you make it a habit of meeting a new stranger every day. Who knows? That stranger might even be your future spouse. Right? And I don't want you to pick and choose. It's just, look, go meet a stranger. Go meet someone completely different from you. What are you going to do? I'm going to meet a stranger. What do you mean by meet a stranger? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? This is what you do. Day 1, you're going to meet stranger number 1. Go up to him or her and just say, excuse me, do you have the time? Ask for the time. All right. It's... what time is it right now? It's like 3:40 p.m. Oh, thank you. All right. Have a good day. Good. What you just did was you broke through the barrier of silence. You just initiated a conversation. Albeit brief, you initiated something. You took the first step. Day 2, second stranger. Add another question. Excuse me, do you have the time? Yes, it's 3:40 p.m. Oh, thank you. I'm actually new in town. I was wondering if you can just point me to a direction of someplace where I can get something to eat. That would be great. Thank you very much. Whether or not that they give you help, that's not the point. The exercise is for you. It's not if somebody completely ignores you, then it doesn't count. You didn't meet a stranger that day. Okay? If that person's completely busy, he's got his earphones on, he's looking for a new Pokemon that's nearby, he's looking for Pikachu or whatever. And not paying attention, that doesn't count. You both caught the same Pokemon, whatever. Oh, I met a stranger. No. You need to go up and interact with that person. If they ignore you, whatever, screw it. You're never going to see them in your life anyway. You don't need them. But you do need a stranger to help you with this exercise. Day 3, ask another question. What do you mean, Matt? Every day I just add a question? No, not yet. Day 4 is going to be interesting. Day 3, you ask a third question. By this time, you can tell if this right at this moment, you're going to notice that the stranger may or may not feel comfortable talking to you. This is the cool part. This is where you start observing how the person reacts to you. That's when you start applying these things such as tone of voice, tempo, volume, gestures, body language, posture. This is where you start applying this. You're gonna notice by the third question, the stranger might be like, "All right, get away from me, creep." It's gonna be sorry I bugged you. Just doing a challenge because this crazy dude asked me to. Laters. Go on to another stranger, but do this. If you do this, I guarantee you're gonna start observing people better. It's easy to observe someone that you always have lunch with at work. It's easy to do it with somebody that you already know. Don't go the easy route. I mean, think about it. The MBA application process was not the easy route. It's been a terrible year for you. Just mind crunching, soul searching, book consuming because you had to take, proficiency tests, whatnot. It's been a hard year, and you're almost there. You're at the interview, and why try to take the easy route? Do this challenge. Day 4, you're gonna ask a personal question. Day 4, ask a personal question. What? Yeah, what kind of personal question? You can say, excuse me, can I ask you a personal question? Person can go, no. Oh, okay, fine, thank you. Walk away, try it again with somebody else. If they say, yeah, sure, go ahead, they're open for conversation. Boom, success. And if you're not used to meeting a stranger and you see that, you get that response, it's gonna be an awesome feeling. Success, right? Yes. They want a conversation with me. And you ask them a personal question. What kind of personal question? You can say, well, I was just wondering, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? What do you do on your free time? Even if they're taken aback by your directness, it still creates a window of opportunity here to create a connection and start a nice conversation with the person. Once they've answered that question on day 4, you can move on and you actually jump a few days, because then you can just say, look, I'm sorry, this is just something that I'm working on a course challenge that I'm doing, which is basically meet a stranger a day and ask them questions. And day 4 today is ask you a personal question. And I really thank you for being such a great sport. What's your name? Oh, my name is Jane Doe. Hi, Jane Doe. My name is John Doe. I really don't know what to ask you next, because the course guy, Mateo, didn't tell me what to say next. 9 times out of 10, that person you're talking to is gonna say, well, what is this course about? Oh, this course is actually it's a how to prepare for an MBA interview course, and it's just I'm doing a section. I'm watching the section on how to really build a connection with people. Would you say that I am succeeding? And Jane Doe might be like, oh, a couple different ways she can take it. She can say, oh, great, MBA. Oh, what school do you plan to apply to? Or maybe she did an MBA. Or she might just say, oh, great, that's cool. Okay, that's it. Game over. Move on to the next day. Or she might even say something like, oh yeah, maybe you are creating a connection. This is interesting. I've never, this is the first time someone's ever did this. Oh, great. And you just start, let it roll, because that means the connection's there. That means you're starting to sync with the person. And that's an exciting feeling. It's great, especially when you're doing it for the first time. Even if you feel like you're really good at meeting people that, yeah, I can do this. Trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy meeting a stranger every day. Not easy, but I guarantee you, I've made a lot of friends by doing this exercise. Yes, I have done this on my own. Okay, I used to be a very shy person. Not very shy today, because I've had many days of strangers since. But that's the point. Every day, do a little bit more. Every day, do a little bit different. Every day, try to improve your life and improve the lives of others. Because why? If you're not improving the lives of others, then you're wasting your time. Got it? All right. So that's my challenge for you, to create a connection. Do this. Please do this, and you will see. You're not going to see this effect in the first days. This is going to gradually become something greater. And I guarantee you this, you will have a set list of questions that you have in your mind all ready to go when you do get into your MBA program and you see somebody really cute on campus. And okay, let's set aside any of these preconceived notions that only men should come up and talk to women. But women also, you can just go up to a guy and be like, hey, this guy's cute. Let's go see what's up. Excuse me, do you have the time? Yeah, sure, it's 2:43 p.m. Oh, I'm late for class. Do you have any idea where this building is? Not sure. I'm also on my first day here. I'm new here. Oh, really? Are you a new student? I mean, are you doing an MBA program or an executive program? No, I'm actually a graduate program. Awesome. Young guy. See? Cute, young. All right. Down to party. I don't know. Talk, but then it's gonna come naturally. Oh, great. Well, okay, so you don't know, I don't know. Then, well, let's just get lost together. No, I was kidding. Anyway, you see what I'm saying, though. You're going towards a direction here where you're going to make it a whole lot easier for you to immediately create connections with a stranger, which is exactly what you want to do with the interviewer. You want to build this connection. You want to give, you're sitting down, you're like, boom, 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 this interaction, this change, and it's a whole lot easier. If you can meet a stranger every day, ask them an extra question every day, and create a connection with a complete stranger who has nothing to do with you, then it's going to be a whole lot easier for you to do so with an interviewer who's there for a specific reason. He's there to talk to you. He's there to make sure that he transmits and represents the school that you're applying to as best as possible. So he has an agenda. He or she, the interviewer, has an agenda. He or she needs to be able to show and say, look, this is the greatest school on earth. So that's already a barrier. It's not the other way around. You're not trying to convince the stranger that you're not weird. Here, you don't have to convince anything at all. You just have to show that you can make a connection. One more thing as far as your posture and your gesture that I want to talk about in this video. One last thing is the following. Have you guys ever heard of Amy Cuddy? Have you ever heard of Amy Cuddy? She has this thing. She's the author. She's a professor. And she has this thing called the power pose, which is awesome. Awesome. If you haven't seen her video, watch it. It's TED Talks, Amy Cuddy power pose. That's what you do. Go to Google search TED Talks, Amy Cuddy, AMYCUDDY, power pose. Okay, I call it the I did it exercise. I did something very similar, but she professionalized it. She was amazing. I love it. Okay, do you know what I did it is? Have you ever seen the movie Stephen King's Dreamcatcher? If you haven't watched it, also watch that. There's a part where the alien kid, his name is Duddits. Everyone called him Duddits, but he said I Duddits because he always says I Duddits. What it actually means is I did it. But he does this. He goes boom, which is a power pose, right? Boom, I Duddits. You did it. Okay, couple of things here. Once you've watched the video, then you'll understand a little bit of this craziness that I'm doing. But this is all part of your mental readiness. This is all part of the package of being psyched up for your interview. Especially in the event if you are one of those people who are a little bit more introverted, a little bit shyer, or if you're Asian. Most Asians, it's not a stereotype. It's just many Asians are very static. We're very kind of closed people. Very objective, straight to the point, but not enough warmth in general. You might be an exception. I'm an exception. I'm a guy who was born in Brazil, who grew up in California. Back and forth. There's very little Korean in me, just maybe the eyes. Okay, but that's about it. And the height. Yeah, but what it is the following. Amy Cuddy talks about how our posture affects our psychology, and vice versa. That's true. Many times, it is widely believed that our psychology affects our posture, which is true. When we're down, when we're sad, we tend to slouch and just kind of right. But the other way around, she touches about how the other way around affects our psychology. So if even if you're sad, when you force your body to be in a power position, that slowly but surely affects your psychology, so that it helps you kick up quickly. What is this power pose? Okay, I'm going to shorten her video, but basically what you do is the following. Before your interview, or before any moment that you feel like you're going to, you're afraid, or you might mess up, or you're on a first date and you want to be able to, not impress the person, but really show your confidence, have a good body posture, body language. I do this exercise anytime before I have to give a lecture, or I have to give class to a large group of people, because as much as I've been doing this for a very long time, it's still daunting to me. It's something that, you know, we're normal people. I'm not a public speaker. So sometimes it is overwhelming, you know. Sometimes it's like, what am I doing here? I'm more comfortable sitting here in front of the video, just looking at a small dot on my computer. And anyway, I do this. Okay, what you do is this: you go in front of the mirror, all right, and you go, boom, I did it, right? Like you made it. I did it, right? Wow! And if you can, scream, but you don't want to scare people, depending on what your location, because you don't want people running in thinking that someone's, you know, killing you or something like that. Let's knock on wood. I don't want anything bad to happen to any of you. But you're in the restroom, you're going boom, and you know, like you did it. You just won. You just ran the marathon. You won. You just played this incredible tennis match, and you won. You just won the NBA Finals. You know, get into that mentality where you just conquered something that it was unimaginable. You just got, you won the, I don't know, robot competition, whatever. You know, you won it. You've done it. You've got it. Okay? You do that. Boom. I look in the mirror and go, yeah. And do that again. Yeah. I guarantee you, the first 2 times you're going to be like, this is weird. 3rd, 4th time, you're gonna be like, whoa, starting to feel it. 5th time, do it 5 times. Boom! I'm pumped, ready to go. Boom! See, I'm already changed. My energy is up all of a sudden. I feel like jumping around the room, you know, the office, and I, you know, when I go on that stage, I know I'm ready to kill it. I'm ready to crush it. I'm gonna, you know, people are gonna love it. See how that changed immediately for me? You know, here I am just kind of talking and laughing, and then all of a sudden, dude, I'm ready to go conquer the world. Do this before your interview, but also be sure that you're in control, so that you're not. Remember that you're mirroring and matching the entire time. If the person is speaking slowly and at a low tone, you're not there going, I know I need to be in this NBA because I know I have the best fit for this school. That's not what you want to do. This is just to get your confidence level up, and not necessarily to, you know, unleash the psychotic kraken in you. Okay, make sure you match and mirror. Even though you're pumped and you have your adrenaline going, you're pumped, ready to go. Right before your interview, you have a few more minutes before you can kind of calm down, and you're comfortable in your own skin. That's the whole point. My body posture already changed. You know, I have my back straight, erect. You know, my shoulders are back. I'm ready to go. I can make eye contact. My gestures, although they are a little bit more active, a little bit more aggressive, something that I can consciously calm down during the interview. I'm ready for this. You're ready for this. You can do this. You're gonna crush this. Do this exercise before your interview, or before any time that you feel awkward or intimidated. Okay? Do this. All right? Encourage you. I want to motivate you, and I want to challenge you. I want to make sure that you do this challenge. I want to make sure that, you know, this meet a stranger day. Go out and meet a stranger day and go power pose. Go watch Amy Cuddy's video. She's awesome. I love her. And I love you. All right, see you guys next video.
Come on and watch me shine.